How many bells did you just hear there, Vic? Was it one or three?
Ding, 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 ding. There's three of them.
Okay, I only get a piece of that. Anyway, welcome back to Wrestling with Power. Mosley here, my tag team partner,
Slick Vic.
right over there. As usual, we're on episode 20 this week. Seems like we were just here yesterday, Slick Vic. We recorded the last episode. What was it, Saturday that we recorded?
It's like we were just here yesterday. You were here, Marty. You were. Well, this is heavy, Doc.
It feels like we were literally just here, which I think I was a day or two later than whenever we recorded to getting the episode actually produced and up. But here we are again, on time, on schedule, on Twitch, and like I said, episode 20 this week. What are we doing this week, Vic? Give the people the rundown of what we got planned for them on tonight's illustrious episode.
Well, tonight's itinerary starts off with SmackDown on the 12th. I'm sorry, it's the month of 12, the 5th of 12 from Austin, Texas, followed by the Raw in Kansas City from the 8th of December. And then, you ready for this one, man? We're going to go into Slick Vic's picks for Saturday night's main event, which is featuring John Cena's last match. And then Mosley's, what's it called, going to tell us about cooking the books for 2026 in terms of championships and title reigns and all that good stuff. We got it all for you here on Wrestling with Power.
Nice. Awesome. Yes, cooking the books. We've done this, I think, once before. I don't remember the topic. Well, actually, maybe we did it a couple of times because I know we did a cooking the books on John Cena's last few months or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we haven't done it in a while, but we're bringing it back, and we're doing one that I've wanted to talk about for a while. The topic for this episode, this Cooking the Books, is WWE's current main roster championships. So, and me and Vic were talking about it before we actually went live. That's kind of vague, but it's supposed to be. You get a topic, and you book it, fantasy book it, however you want. If you want to, change the titles, if you want to change the person who's holding the titles, if you want to put them on different shows, if you want to erase them from history altogether, if you want to bring back some championships, any of that, it's open-ended. It can be as broad as it is long. And that's what we're going to be doing later tonight. Both of us are going to be talking about our fantasy booking of how we would change, if we would change, the WWE main roster championships. So, Slick Vic.
Yes, Mr. Mosley?
I'm wore out, man. I just got to say, I'm kind of wore out. I've had a rough week.
Man, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. You need me to carry the show on my back?
Yeah, you might have to throw it on those 24-inch pythons of yours and carry it. No, I'll be okay. I'm just, I'm pretty wore out from work. It's been a really busy week heading into the holidays. And it's weird because, you have Thanksgiving. And as a kid, it always seems like Thanksgiving and then Christmas is still forever away. But now as an adult, it's like Thanksgiving happens. And then a week later, it's Christmas.
I know. Literally, 2 weeks from today is Christmas.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I've been a busy little bird over here because of that. And as a result of that, unfortunately, I don't have any news to report this week. Last week and some of the other weeks, we've did recent news and things that have been going on. But I don't have anything, Vic. I'm pretty sure I don't have anything to report as of right now.
One piece of follow-up for what we did last week.
I do have a small follow-up as well. So I just seen it, a screenshot that I took. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some news. What do you got there, Vic?
Last week we talked about Netflix winning the bid for Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if you heard, this is like a day later that Paramount has what do they call it? A hostile bid or whatever they call it. They had some fancy Wall Street term for it, but Paramount is trying to outbid Netflix. They have offered Warner Brothers more money than Netflix did in an attempt to take over.
How the hell does Paramount have that kind of money? $80+ billion. I mean, Paramount's a company that's been around for a very long time, but we're talking, Netflix having that kind of money is understandable. They got like 500 million subscribers worldwide or something. Like Paramount?
It's crazy. I mean, it's when I think of Paramount, I think of that opening, the opening star is going over the mountain.
Yeah.
And then I think of Friday the 13th.
Yeah, me too.
Man, it's the horror movie blood that you and I both share.
Yeah, I know. It's ingrained.
But
yeah, that's interesting.
The house that Jason owns can also own DC Comics and Harry Potter and all sorts of other crazy stuff. But that's the major news I have.
Well, I have a question. Was there a number figure for how much they actually offered? Because Netflix was like $82 billion.
It was in the hundreds. I do know that. I can give you an exact number if you hold on 10 seconds.
Hundreds of billions?
$108 billion.
Wow.
Where did they get the money?
Why do they want it? Why do they want it? Why do they care?
I guess there's a lot of IPs that Warner Brothers own. There's a lot of stuff there, man. We talked about it ourselves. Mortal Kombat could be owned by Paramount.
But I mean, how long would it take to recoup that kind of an investment? That's a big investment.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's a question for somebody above my pay grade.
Yeah,
they don't pay me. They don't pay me enough here at Wrestling with Power to know that kind of information.
Yeah, me either. God, we need some new sponsors. Well, the only thing that I had taken a snapshot of Slick Vic was also a follow-up to something that we talked about last week, and it's something that we've talked about multiple times, and it's Chris Jericho potentially coming back to the WWE, which I think at this point is sort of a foregone conclusion. Like, he'll be back at the WWE, probably the Royal Rumble. But this was posted from WrestleMania on their Facebook page. Chris Jericho just posted his old WWE Titantron on TikTok, the Y2J Countdown. He posted that on his TikTok. So,
that's really subtle.
It's telling. It's telling. That's all I got.
Maybe when the countdown ends, they'll show up at TNA.
Yeah, show up at CMLL.
I mean, he put over TNA in some crazy tweet a while back saying it's the second best looking promotion on the world right now.
No, that was actually on, I think, his podcast or somebody's podcast. He said that.
Yeah.
He said that like AEW looks second rate compared to. He was specifically talking about, I think, Slammiversary or whatever the big show that TNA had, where I think the Dudleys had their last match. They were going up against the Hardys, and all the title belts were on the line and all that stuff.
Yeah,
which it was true. I mean, that was a great looking show. I mean, he's got a point, and like we said last week's episode, they've got to deal with AMC now. So hopefully, it catapults them to new heights. I want to see TNA come back.
Me too. I heard there's even talk of once they do get on TV, the phenomenal AJ Styles will show up on episode 1.
Ooh, that would be cool. Well, next year is his last year. I think he has to, right?
Yeah. I mean that's home for AJ.
Yeah. He needs to, for sure. He needs to, and I think that whole thing was supposed to be taking place fairly quickly. If I remember correctly, it was supposed to be like within a month or two that they were going to be on AMC. I could be completely wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm not.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for whatever. I'm always just here.
I'm just here for the booze, right? I'm just here for
the booze.
I'm here for the booze, as in BOOS, like Boo.
Yeah. Or boo.
Well, what do you say we dive right into the show's end then, Mr. Mosley?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Shall I take us down to Austin, Texas for SmackDown?
Absolutely. Mr. SmackDown himself, Mr. Blue over there, is going to tell us what happened this past Friday on SmackDown.
Well, SmackDown from December 5th in Austin, Texas. Drew McIntyre arrives, and Nick Aldis immediately greets him, telling him he's still suspended, much to Drew's dismay. As he gets into his car, he's still arguing with Nick, and then we get this really nice shot of Cody sneaking up on Drew from the passenger seat, and he starts beating on Drew. Cody gets out, Drew drives off, Cody heads to the ring, grabs a mic, and says he wants Nick Aldis to reinstate Drew McIntyre. He's pissed that Drew jumped Cody in his tour bus, and he calls Drew WWE's resident cockroach. He wants to stomp him out. Cockroach. This is a good. I thought this was a good opening promo by Cody. You know, there's a lot of fire there. The cockroach line had me chuckling, but also the whole thing where he just snuck up on him from the passenger seat. The way the camera picked that up, good stuff, man. Absolute cinema. Any thoughts on that opening promo?
I loved it, man. I thought it was hilarious to see him sneak up. He grabs his head and he like smashes it into the steering wheel, and then he just starts going to town on him. And Drew's like, ah, ah, ah! He's like screaming, beating the hell out of him. I loved it. I thought it was funny, man. It took me back to Stone Cold beating the hell out of Vince McMahon every other week.
Yeah,
it was good.
That was good. He snuck up on him like Big Boss. That's some good shit there, pal.
He should have been hiding in a cardboard box, and you just see him come out of it.
You know, I read somewhere a while back that Cody would love to play Ocelot if they ever did like a Metal Gear Solid 3 movie. And I think Cody would make a pretty good Ocelot.
Yeah, he would. He really would, yeah.
Although in the game, Ocelot's like 18 years old. We'll let that slide.
I don't really... Yeah, well, I mean, in the game, I guess it depends on which one they go for. If they do a Snake Eater, you know, he would have to be. But he doesn't really look 18. I mean, he could pass in his 20s easily in that game.
They don't have to be 100% lore accurate.
Right.
That's fine. All right, moving on. Backstage, DIY are chatting. Tommaso still wants his U.S. title match. Carmelo Hayes walks by and overhears this conversation, and he says he's next in line. Jackass. Which leads us to, well, before we get to the match, we got a video package showing that Damian Priest has help against Aleister Black and Zelina, and it's Rhea Ripley. So next week we have the Terror Twins reuniting to face Aleister Black and Zelina. Do you think Aleister Black and Zelina should have a name, like a duo at this point? I think yes.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't. I mean, the Terror Twins for me is sort of like a nickname. I don't buy it as an official name. Maybe it is, but I don't. Yeah, I'm indifferent about that.
Well, Rhea Ripley is really busy, and we're gonna come back to this later, much later on in the show, because when we get to cooking the books, because I got a little snippet about Rhea Ripley and her how I envision her 2026 in terms of title scenes. Anyway,
now, I do want to ask you a question though, because I wanted to mention it whenever Cody came out to the ring, but I forgot. Did you see the guy in the crowd that was literally right in the hard camera dressed as Goldust in the audience?
No,
you didn't catch. Oh, there was a Goldust in the crowd, like a full makeup wig. It was awesome. I mean, he was there the whole show, but I noticed it when Cody came out, especially because. I mean, a very gold person sitting amongst, just regular people.
I'm usually pretty good at picking those things out, but I missed it. Did Cody was there any interaction? Did Cody acknowledge him?
No, of course not. Okay. No.
All right. So we have our first match tonight, which is for the U.S. title. It's Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes. Now, I swear to God, we had this match already. Did we? I don't know if we did or not, but
I think so. Yeah. It's bad whenever you have to question it.
Right.
Maybe it was Javon Evans that we're thinking of.
I know for sure
I know
that
he
happened.
he had a shot. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, these two start off with some aggressive lockups. They trade chops, and you know what happens whenever people trade chops, right? Woo!
You get a big.
Ilya hits a boot. There's a lot of boots in this match, by the way. Hayes responds with a super kick. Ilya hits a huge boot on a perched Hayes, who falls outside, and we go to break. We come back. Ilya is hitting rolling German suplexes. Carmelo escapes, and they start exchanging more strikes. Hayes finally takes over with a springboard clothesline and a tilt-a-whirl facebuster, which looked really smooth. He goes for the first 48, but Ilya counters into a powerbomb. Hayes counters an H-bomb into a small package, but Ilya hits the atomic bomb into a slam, the atomic drop bomb, whatever you want to call it. Carmelo hits a very nice springboard DDT on the apron, but as he's about to hit nothing but net, Ciampa comes out and throws him off the ropes, which allows Dragunov to hit the Torpedo Moscow and the H-bomb for the win. Thoughts? This was all right. Some good action, especially the second half. Carmelo got some good looking moves in. He'll win a mid-card title soon, eventually, so he'll be fine. This match doesn't hurt him. Post-match, Ilya sees the replay from the Titantron, and he's big mad about it, that his win was tainted. He starts yelling, "No, no," which I thought was both hilarious and weird. Like, I get he wants to be the honorable champion, but he's walking back and he sees the video and he's like, "No." I don't know. I thought it was kind of, like I said, hilarious and weird.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the U.S. title match from this week?
I thought it was a better match than we had the past probably couple. I know that I'm still kind of to the point where I'm a little bit bored of Ilya at this point. And I don't understand why he continues to duck Tommaso Ciampa. I loved the shirts that they had on in the back as well, where it's like, "I'm not a jackass," and like you had what's the girl's name? Candace had a shirt on that said, "My husband's best friend is not a jackass."
Yeah. And Johnny says, "My best friend's not a jackass."
Yeah. I was just sitting there thinking, I wonder if they're actually selling those on WWE.com. Wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, this was a good match. A good hard-hitting match. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of burnt out now on the, not necessarily the open challenge aspect of the U.S. title, but it just seems like it's not going anywhere to me. You get a good match. It's a good match. You could, but I don't know.
I'm with you. I'm kind of over this. Just kind of
something needs to change. Something needs to. It's sort of repetitive, same thing over and over. It's not as bad as Aleister Black and fucking Damian Priest at this point, but still, that's my thoughts.
Okay.
Oh, shit. I just dropped my tab in my pop. I haven't done that since I was a kid. You ever do that? Like tear the tab off your pop and it falls in there on accident?
I remember playing with the tab on my pop, but I don't remember if it ever fell inside. I'd pull it out and, flick it at somebody.
Well, once it gets in there, you're feeling it the rest of the time you're drinking the pop, so it sucks.
Don't swallow it now.
I know.
All right. Backstage, Charlotte says she only joined the War Games team to help Alexa, or Lexi as she calls her. If Charlotte is going to keep calling Alexa by her real name, Alexa should call her Ashley. It's only fair.
Yeah.
Alexa says their bond is stronger and they want the tag team titles back. We go to another backstage segment where LA Knight says that if he beats John Cena, he cements his legacy. He puts over Gunther's credentials, but Knight says he's an unstoppable force, and if it's a fight you want, all right. Yeah. There's an actual quote there. I didn't make that up.
Yeah. Really said it.
And then we go to a match. We got Kairi Sane versus Alexa Bliss. So Kairi starts off on the offense, goes on the top rope, and rolls out the way when Alexa smacks her own butt. Hold on. Kairi's the one slapping her butt because she's avoiding her attacks. Which reminds me, Did you ever play Snake versus the Monkey in Metal Gear Solid Delta?
Yes.
Do you remember what happens every time Snake completes a level? What does he do? He just turns at the camera and starts smacking his own butt.
Yeah. Does a little dance.
Yeah. This is art imitating games or whatever. Art imitating art.
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever. Anyways, you know me. I get sidetracked whenever I think of Metal Gear Solid, so let's
everything comes back to Metal Gear.
Snake! Okay, so they exchange sunset flips, pinning attempts. Kyrie mocks Alexa's height, which is hilarious coming from someone like Kyrie, and gets slapped in the face for it. They fight outside where Kyrie hits an Alabama slam on the guardrail, which looked pretty good. Kyrie then hits that stupid corner double stomp, which I swear to God, we're gonna talk about that move all weekend, aren't we?
Yeah, it happened a few times. Yeah.
Oh God. Alexa comes back with the rolling neck breaker. Kyrie hits a spinning back fist, which Alexa sells very hilariously. Kyrie goes for the insane elbow, but eats a Sister Abigail for the win. This was fairly run of the mill. Not terrible, but not great. Just your typical TV match meant to advance a potential rematch for the tag titles. And post match, Nia Jax and Lash Legend attack everyone and hold the tag title belts. Any thoughts on any of the backstage segments or this match?
Well, this match in particular, I thought it was a good match. Like you said, maybe run of the mill, maybe a little bit above run of the mill. It was a pretty good match, I thought. What got me though was the ending and the post match, and I'll tell you what it was. The ending spot where you mentioned Kyrie goes for the elbow, and then Alexa hits her with the Sister Abigail DDT. Whenever Kyrie was going up on top she was up on the top turnbuckle. And the camera was on her. The camera was on her, and she was standing up on the turnbuckle so long that I thought that my stream was buffering. I thought my stream froze. But that wasn't the case. She was just up there waiting for her spot. She was waiting for Alexa to get in place to jump. And when that happened, it took me out of it. And then post-match, you could clearly see Charlotte Flair looking around, waiting for Lash and Nia to come up from behind and attack him. And I was like, what? Come on. Took me right out of it, Slick Vic. So, pretty solid match. Ending killed it for me.
Would you say they kept you waiting, pal? Or kept you waiting, huh?
They kept Kyrie waiting up on that top turnbuckle for a while. It was bad.
Everything comes back to Metal Gear Solid.
Everything.
All right. So afterwards, we got a backstage segment with Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes where they meet NXT's Ricky Saints and Oba Femi, where it's revealed that Cody will face the winner of their match at Deadline. Well, the winner of the match at Deadline will get to face Cody at Saturday night's main event. Since we don't cover NXT, spoiler alert, Oba Femi won. So we're going to have Cody Rhodes versus Oba Femi at Saturday night's main event.
Oba Femi won the title back and won the right to fix. Yep.
Stick around for Slick Vic's picks to see who I choose to see who wins that match. Backstage, we got Nia Jax and Lash Legend. They say they're coming for the tag titles. Hooray. And then we got a match. We got Jade Cargill versus Alba Fire. Okay. I think it's obvious what's going to happen here. So I'll get right to the thoughts. I was surprised Alba got as much offense in the match as she did, and Jade had to win thanks to a distraction, which is a surprising creative choice. I would have thought Jade would have just squashed Alba immediately and won. I don't know. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a bit of an Alba fan, and I remember watching her in her NXT UK days. She hit a really good Hurricane Rana and a great super kick, but before that distraction from Kiana James and Julia came out, and they took out Chelsea, which cost her the match. As much as I like Alba, Jade should have won this with a flawless victory. That's just how I felt. I'm like, if you're gonna build up Jade, you should have her just steamroll her opponent, not take a bunch of moves and then take advantage of a distraction.
Yeah.
My opinion.
True.
What about you? How
I'm
would you
okay
have
with
booked this match.
Well, I think it was booked fine. I'm with you. I mean, Jade and seeing her come out to the ring with the title, she looks the part, man. She really looks like that's your WWE Women's Champion right there.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I could say that. I didn't see that with Tiffany Stratton. You know? I didn't see it when, I don't know, when Rhea's the world champion, yeah, that you get that feeling too. But with Jade, it's like, yeah, and we talked how this is the way to book her, to have her strengths shown. Don't have long matches, let her go out there and steamroll somebody, like you said. But I'm okay with them getting a little bit of offense in. I mean, she can't be invincible necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, Goldberg was Goldberg, but people still beat up on him a little bit in those matches. It's just he would squash them in a couple of hits. So I'm okay with it.
Okay. All right. Backstage, Axiom wants DIY. Ilya Dragunov comes in. He wants Ciampa. And our wishes finally come true, Mosley. Nick Aldis makes it official. Next week, we're finally going to have Ilya Dragunov versus Tommaso Ciampa. Ilya turns to leave and comes face to face with Tama Tonga's there, along with the MFT. Solo tells them, let's go, and they head to the ring. And we cut to Jade Cargill, who walks past B-Fab and Michin. They start to bicker, and after a while, we realize that, we're going to have a match next week between Jade Cargill and Michin. Lots of matches are being set up for next week. We're not even done yet.
Yeah.
The MFT is in the ring. Solo says they took care of they took care of the Sami Zayn problem. A Solo sucks chant breaks out. Solo says MFT can move forward to the Wyatt 6. And then Solo introduces himself. And this is his ring. This is his show. This is his family tree. Solo wants the tag titles. This, I must say right now, this was a really, really good promo by Solo. I thought he really delivered here. And then he started getting really personal, saying that everything that was his, he points up to the sky, is now mine. And that Uncle Howdy doesn't deserve the name Wyatt. And all Solo has to do is leave. The lights go out and the Wyatt 6 appear, and a brawl ensues, including a face-off between Tala Tonga and Eric Rowan. Fee, fi, fo, fum, as Corey Graves said. The Wyatt 6 stand tall when it's all said and done, but Solo really killed it here. Great stuff. I don't know if you share my sentiment, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
No, exactly. I thought the same thing. And he's making a personal issue here out of something that isn't personal, from the get-go. It's like, but personal issues always go over a lot better. And I thought he did great in this. It's sort of weird in a way. Like, why does he want, like you said, he points up and he says, everything that was his, that is now yours, will be mine. Does he want to be a Wyatt? I don't understand where he's going with that. But still, the point is driven home. He's making a personal issue out of this. He's bringing up Bo's past, his brother, and that generates heat, man. And all of a sudden, you want to see this match.
What'd you think of Solo's performance here?
I thought it was great. Yeah, I thought it was solid. Very solid.
Are you looking forward to Ilya Dragunov and Ciampa next week? We finally got it.
We finally got it. Normally, I would say, why don't they put this on whatever PLE? But of course, Saturday night's main event isn't a very long show. It's not really considered a PLE, and I understand that. Yeah, but they're stacking the card next week for SmackDown for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, backstage, Nick Aldis is with The Miz, who is mad, and he wants to be the main focus of Saturday night's main event. Nick says nope. Ding dong, in walks in Bayley. Nick tells her she is going to be on the Saturday night's main event card, and in walks in her opponent. It's Sol Ruka. Consider me intrigued. Backstage, Gunther says he doesn't care where you live or what you speak. The ring general Gunther internationally translates to victory. Great line. He's going to beat LA Knight and then Cena. He wants Cena to watch how he's going to beat LA Knight tonight. Good stuff. He goes on about how, he's going to break John Cena. He's going to make him tap. Good stuff. I mean, I think Gunther plays his role very well. And lastly, before I get your thoughts, we got a video package of Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, or it's just Zelina now. Zelina comes in and says, Rhea is a succubus that tempts you with your family you had in the past. Aleister says, if it's the inferno you want, Damien, then like Virgil to Dante, I shall guide you through it. Oh, man, I loved all the literary references, man. Good stuff. It's official. There's a mixed tag team match set for next week. And immediately after this segment, there's a graphic that shows Alexa Bliss versus Lash Legend. How long is this SmackDown show going to be next week?
It's going to be a brute.
All right, man. Any thoughts on The Miz, Bayley, Sol Ruca, Gunther, Aleister, Zelina?
A lot of that was, whatever, kind of filler material. Especially the Aleister Black thing. I'm over it. Can't wait to see Sol Ruca, though. That's going to be good. She's always entertaining. Yeah. Can't wait to see her go up against Bayley. Hopefully she wins. I think she probably will.
All right. It's time for the main event. This is for the finals of the Last Time Is Now tournament. We're finally in the finals.
Woo!
Gunther versus LA Knight. Knight starts off fast and furious. Gunther hits a chop, but Knight throws him outside. It's a baseball slide, and we go to break. Come back, and Gunther's in control. He's toying with Knight. Knight fires back with some shots, but gets shut down again. Gunther hits a few chops, but Knight is hanging on and comes back with a flying clothesline and a jumping neck breaker. Gunther gets in a sleeper, but Knight immediately counters into an attitude adjustment, followed by a burning hammer for a 2 count. We go to break and come back, and they trade chops now. Knight hits a running knee on a cornered Gunther. Knight tries a top rope elbow, but Gunther moves out of the way and hits a forward drop kick. Goes for the powerbomb, but Knight reverses into a DDT, then successfully hits the elbow for a 2 count. The BFT is countered into a German suplex, followed by a clothesline. Gunther hits a pair of splashes off the top rope. But then Knight kicks out at 2. A powerbomb. Another kick out at 2. Gunther tries to lock in the sleeper, but Knight hits the BFT out of nowhere, which looked really good, by the way. Gunther tries to lock in the sleeper, or I should say Gunther then gets to the ropes, and he's the first to his feet, then locks in the sleeper. Knight fights back valiantly. Gunther locks in the crossface, which crossface-like hold. I mean, I don't know if this was trying to be a somewhat of a reference to the STFU, but he was locking in differently, so I couldn't really tell. Nonetheless, he's wrenching on Knight. Knight has got no choice, but he taps out, and we have a winner. My thoughts. Gunther delivers as usual. Great back and forth action. Lots of good moments. A few moments where I thought LA Knight might actually pull this off. Both men looked great. I was invested the whole time, and it was quite the roller coaster. Thought this was a very good match. And we now have it official. Gunther versus John Cena. What did you think of this main event there, Mr. Mosley?
I thought it was a great match, and I think if there's one match that you watch from this SmackDown at all, it should be this one, because it was really, really good. And I'm finding that, it goes without saying that Gunther doesn't really have a bad match. I think that goes the same for LA Knight. LA Knight, unless he botches jumping up on the turnbuckle, which thankfully he hardly ever does, doesn't really have a bad match. I was really entertained by this. I loved it. Not necessarily crazy about Gunther being the one that John Cena is going to face. I think that if it wasn't going to be a Joe Hendry or a young up-and-coming star, then it should have been LA Knight instead. That's just me. Gunther got Goldberg for his last match. This is just, is Gunther going to be the guy that just kills everybody and sends them into retirement? Like, I don't know. And it was rumored early on that it was going to be Gunther, and just the fact that it was sort of anticlimactic to me. So I wish it would win the other way. But, nonetheless, Gunther, we are lucky to live in a time and have somebody like Gunther on this roster.
Well, it's funny you mentioned this because I kind of feel like this whole tournament thing was not all that great. I mean, we think
Yeah.
of all the matches. I'm not just mad because we didn't get a Joe Hendry cameo, but I don't know. I just thought this tournament just felt kind of lackluster this whole time.
Yeah, the best part of the tournament was when Dolph Ziggler came back and when Matt Cardona came back as those surprise entrants. And their matches, too, were great. Especially Matt's, a.k.a. Zack Ryder. Great match. That was the highlights of the tournament for me. And we get the winner that everybody assumed was going to win. It's just, it's just kind of like, okay. It's like you open a Christmas present and it's socks. Yeah, you can use socks. New socks are great. But it wasn't that cool toy that you wanted, you know what I mean?
You want that Nintendo 64.
Yeah, one of those $100 N64 games. Majora's Mask with the expansion pack included.
Well, thus concludes another episode of Friday Night SmackDown. What do you say
Nice.
we have a pause for the cause before we get into your deep dive on Raw?
Pause for the cause. You know what? I'm going to have to change the be right back to say pause for the cause on here on Twitch. But I agree with you. We'll do that, and then we'll get in some Raw. Be right back. All right. Well, let's do some Raw. What do you say?
I say yes.
All right. Well, that was a hell of a break, and we're back. Hopefully, Slick Vic, you got your libations in. I've still got mine right here. Little
I'm
drinky
well
poo.
hydrated.
All right. And I'm ready to call some Raw here. Now, Slick Vic, you know me, and I don't always get it all right. So if I miss something, skip over something, you want to add it in, feel free.
Okay.
But I've got mostly everything here. Maybe not every single segment or whatever, but it's fine. Whatever. As you mentioned before, Monday Night Raw was in Kansas City, Missouri. Right? Is that Kansas? Yep. Is that Missouri?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
On the 8th. December the 8th. And we start the show with Gunther coming out to the ring, the winner of the Last Time Is Now tournament, as Slick Vic revealed to us, and as we all saw on SmackDown. And Gunther cuts a hell of a promo here, as he always does, and you get the Gunther camera from the corner that's right up in his molars. He says Cena is the greatest sports entertainer of all time, but that he is the greatest professional wrestler of all time. He says that beating John Cena isn't enough. He will break his spirit. He'll make him do the one thing he has never done, and that is give up. So, summarizing there. But a really good promo from Gunther. Really makes you want to see him get his ass kicked. I still don't think it's going to happen. What do you think about this intro to Raw, Slick Vic? It wasn't nearly as fun as the SmackDown intro, but...
Well, I thought it was short and sweet. Gunther got his point across just fine. I liked the little countdown that he had. It was a good touch. And really, that's about it. But I'm pretty sure, when he said this is going to be the first time John Cena ever gives up.
Yeah, I think that... I thought he was going to say this is going to be the first time John Cena's ever tapped out. I don't know if that's true.
That is not true. I've just fact-checked it right now. He's tapped out multiple times. He's tapped out to Kurt Angle. He's tapped out to Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho.
Okay, well, maybe they should have made it an I Quit match. Speaking of matches, we're going to segue on over to our first match of the night. This is Io Sky versus Kairi Sane. So these two, they're very similar. Very evenly matched. Similar statures. They got similar movesets. A lot of the early going kind of looks the same. It looks like they're fighting mirror. This is a mirror match, like Mortal Kombat. They're fighting themselves almost. We get the fast-paced grappling, striking, gymnastic counters. Eventually, Io drop kicks Kairi to the outside, but Asuka jumps on the apron to cause a distraction. Rhea Ripley comes over and intervenes. We go to a break. Out of the break, Kairi has the advantage, but loses it immediately. Io hits a massive springboard missile dropkick, followed by a Meteora on Kairi, but she only gets a 2 count out of it. Io climbs up the turnbuckle, but Kairi is instantly revived all of a sudden. She jumps right up and knocks Io into position for one of those double stomps that Slick Vic loves so much. There's some awkward striking that leads to a counter by Kairi, who goes for a backdrop on the apron, but Io flips through and hits a German suplex on Kairi instead, and that was probably the spot of the match right there. Io hits a moonsault onto Kairi on the outside and keeps the advantage back in the ring, but another distraction by Asuka prevents the moonsault, over the moonsault attempt. Again, Rhea has had enough at this point and takes out Asuka on the outside. Io finally gets in and hits the over the moonsault back in the ring and picks up the pinfall victory. Kind of said what I thought of this match in the beginning. These two are very evenly matched. It's almost like watching a mirror match with these two. It's not a bad thing, but it makes for somewhat of a just a decent match. It was a decent match. And, as is sort of the course for a lot of these matches, this is sort of, you have your partners, the people on the outside to get involved. That's going to lead to this. It's going to lead to this. It's sort of just an opening to lead to something else. So it's not going to be a 5-star match or anything. What about you, Vic?
Well, you mentioned mirror match. Would this be like Link versus Dark Link?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good one too. Yeah, absolutely.
I just thought of that right now. I was like, oh, I'm going to sprinkle some more video game references along.
Yeah.
Anyways, good match here. I thought this was some good back and forth action. Like the announcers say, it's like they know each other. I like the Shoryukens from Io, which Wade calls the Shote uppercuts. Which might be the correct name of the move, but whatever. It's Shoryukens.
I don't think they can. They probably can't legally say Shoryukens. Or maybe they can. I don't know.
And Kairi, again, hits that stupid corner snap that you mentioned earlier. That's freaking stupid. They teased it for a second time. I don't know if you caught that. They it's like she loaded it up for a second time but didn't hit it. And I was like, oh, thank God. The apron fighting, though, was really cool. I thought that part was really good. But overall, yeah, like I said, good back and forth action. Good match. I enjoyed this one. I was fairly entertained.
Those apron spots always make me nervous because I can tell you, Vic, have you ever been inside of a wrestling ring? Have you ever helped put together a wrestling ring or been inside of a wrestling ring before?
Man, I have not, but I would love to. Even just putting together the ring makes me feel like I'd be part of something special. But no, I have not done that. I know the commentators like to point out how the apron is the hardest part of the ring. Is that true?
That is absolutely true. That is the hardest part of the ring. I've put together rings before. I've been in the ring before. It's fairly bouncy. Like, at least the one I was in was surprisingly bouncy. Like, if you land on it, it doesn't feel good. It's not like landing on a trampoline, but it's got some bounce to it. So, like, naturally, the middle part would be the most bouncy, and then as you go to the outside where all of the bars and shit's connected, that's hard as a fucking rock. I mean, there's no give there. So, those backdrops and stuff have to hurt. They have to hurt.
If I could, I would volunteer to put the ring together. I would love to be a part of this.
It's work. It's work, dude. I whenever I did it, and I had help. There were multiple people putting this thing together. It's a workout in and of itself putting a ring together. Like, you'll be sore the next day after you put a ring together.
I believe it.
Because it's hard to explain, but it's a workout. We'll just put it that way. But it's an experience. I liked it myself. I'm like you. It was sort of a lifelong kind of dream of mine to just be in a ring, to like feel the ropes and bounce off of them and run, and it's fun. You're a wrestling fan. You like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Moving on, we get a backstage segment. The Vision are backstage, and Logan Paul's there. He says something has to be done about the Rey Mysterio situation, where Rey smacked the taste out of his mouth last week. He pulls Heyman aside and tells him that he appreciates the Bronze's backup and wants him to know that he will back them up too. I thought this was just really awkward. Heyman hands him the brass knucks and says, just in case. Moving on.
Hold on, let me say one thing. Can I say one thing? Because
yeah.
this is a night of lies, man. This is a night of lies. Because Heyman says for the first time ever, Logan's got backup. He just had Drew McIntyre and his team literally 6 weeks ago for a tag team match against what was it? Cody and somebody else. Like, come on, he's had backup before. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
lies.
off there.
Collusion.
It's night of lies. Monday Night Lies.
Monday Night Lies. That might be the title of this episode. Monday Night Lies. So, from that little backstage segment, we see Rey Mysterio. He's walking backstage. He's got a match, apparently, against Finn Balor, I believe. He's supposed to have a match against Finn Balor. But Logan Paul hits him with a sneak attack as he's heading to the ring. Then the mystery man shows up. The masked man from Survivor Series shows up. He stomps Rey. Then LA Knight comes out. And Logan hightails it out of the ring. But Knight challenges Logan Paul to a match tonight. And after a commercial break, the match is made official. Any thoughts, Vic?
I really wanted to see Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor. So fact the Logan Paul.
I
wanted
agree.
to see that match.
I agree, man, because they were, and Rey was like, I'm going to go through every member of the Judgment Day. This is the first member. He gets attacked from behind by Logan Paul.
It's
that jabroni.
It's almost like this quest to go through the Judgment Day to get to Dominic is just backstory for Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul.
Yeah, of course, yeah. That's what we're going to have.
But hey, when LA Knight came out, he did a whole bunch of yeah. That's going to be a meme like pretty soon. Guarantee that.
That was great.
Lastly, there was this video package with the War Raiders, and I noted this on my notes because I wanted to ask you: have you ever heard of a metal band called Amon Amarth?
No.
Oh, I'm going to send you a video later. You're going to tell me it's the Viking Raiders.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the War Raiders. I'll send it to you later, but yeah.
You're that's one thing that we don't have in common. I'm not saying I don't like metal, but you are so metal, you're like a steel beam. You know what I mean?
Don't let this Metallica poster fool you. I have a very deep knowledge of metal. This is because everyone knows Master of Puppets. I mean, here. Have you heard of King Diamond? King Diamond's a good one too. I'm just sorry. I'm moving on. I'm on a Mars. I'll send you a video later and you'll be like, oh my God, it's the War Raiders.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. And I just want to do this real quick if we can.
Yeah!
There we go. Had to get it in there. But yeah, I love LA Knight. He's one of my top guys right now, for sure. One of my favorite wrestlers. I get asked all the time, who's my favorite wrestler? And I don't know if I have one. But LA Knight's up there. So then we get to a match. This is for the World Tag Team Championships. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, the champions, versus the War Raiders. And we saw this match set up last week. So here we are, and I was actually looking forward to this one. Spoiler alert, I hate how it ended. So, the New Day with Grayson Waller show up and sit ringside as the match starts. AJ and Dragon Lee control the first few minutes of the match. They're knocking the War Raiders out of the ring, where they turn the tides on the champs by literally catching and throwing Dragon Lee into AJ, as AJ's coming off of a dive. He's trying to dive through the ropes or something, and they just launch Dragon Lee into him. It was an awesome spot. We get a break. And then when we come back, the War Raiders are still in control. AJ tags in Dragon Lee, who turns the tide in the champ's favor, taking it to both War Raiders. We get the lame-ass double stomp move to Eric in the corner. That's the third time so far between SmackDown and Raw. The third time. Then lifts Ivar on his shoulders for, I guess, a Death Valley driver, but he hurts his back in the process. Can't pick him up quite all the way. Ivar hits a moonsault, but AJ comes to life and breaks the pin before the 3 count. AJ hits the phenomenal forearm on Ivar and gets a 3 count to retain the titles. So before I go to the post-match, they made this match last week. They had an awesome video package of the War Raiders going into this match. And I felt this match was very lackluster, considering the build to it. If you want to call it that. It was only a week's build, but they had the package, they had the War Raiders. It's sort of like the War Raiders have not been taken seriously, or they've not been in this top spot like they should be for so long, and now they're getting their opportunity. I'm not saying that they were going to win the titles here. They didn't need to win the titles. But I just felt like the match was just another match like they've been having. There was no difference between seeing them now and seeing them 3 months ago. Post-match, the New Day enter the ring, but the Usos music hits, and the brothers head through the crowd to the ring to yeet for way too long and announce they are back in the tag team division. I'd like to hear your thoughts, Slick Vic.
Well, I disagree with you, man. I thought this was a banger tag team match, as Wade said. I like how, first of all, I like how the War Raiders, they tag in using their forearms instead of their,
that is cool. Yeah, that is cool.
Ivar moves very impressively for a man his size. He's not the smoothest worker, but I think that's a good thing here. As he moves kind of like chaotically. It's not pretty, but it always looks effective. Speaking of which, the way Dragon moves, though, is very smooth, very effective. And it makes sense that he uses his speed to chop the big man down, as someone his size should. But that damn double stomp, man. At this point, I'm so sick of complaining about it.
You're just going to have to get over it, because they're going to keep doing it, apparently.
Yeah. And not only Dragon Lee, but, Kairi Sane and maybe others. There's a beautiful counter into the Viking experience from the apron onto the floor by the Raiders, where Dragon Lee was going to do his little Hurricane Rana from the apron to the outside.
Yeah.
Oh, they caught him and they hit him with the Viking experience. That was awesome. By the way.
Okay.
I should have used this is all right, fine. This is my gimmick today, I guess, right?
No, you've got multiple gimmicks. We're going to talk about your gimmick, but it's going to come up here in a moment when we get to that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, this is actually a letter opener, but it's from there's a metal band called Camelot. You can see the K right there. Camelot spelled with a K. It's actually it came with a special edition CD, which is really good because I actually use this quite often to open up letters. But nice. Anyways, I'm here pretending I don't have a shield, but I'm going to be a Viking right now. But
the hero of time.
Okay, so the Viking experience counter was really cool. The Hurricane Rana bowling ball spot from AJ to the Raiders I thought was nice. You didn't like that spot, huh? You thought that was kind of weak? I don't know if you remember the ending spot, but
it's not that I thought it was weak. I just didn't see anything that I thought was. I didn't see what you saw. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see a great tag team match like I wanted to see. I think the War Raiders are awesome, and I've seen Ivar do all of his crazy moves around the ring and how he does just stuff that he should not be able to do at a man his size. And he's one of the few guys in the company right now that big that can do all of that stuff. I mean, you might want to make an argument for Bronson Reed, but even Ivar tops Bronson Reed. Like
for sure, 100%.
Ivar's bigger than Bronson Reed, and he does crazier shit than Bronson Reed. Bronson does a splash off the top rope. Wow, that's whatever, but. This could be a really good tag team. I never felt like the tag team titles were even close to coming to the War Raiders in this match. I think that's my problem with it.
That's fine.
Because they built it up to be like, we're a force to be reckoned with. No, you're kind of the same force that you were before, which is good. You're good, but come on, man. boost them up to that next level. That's all I'm saying.
Last thing I want to add is I like that the New Day and the Usos came out post-match. I think we briefly talked about this last week. I'm glad they're actively trying to rebuild the tag team division because it really, really needs it.
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad. All right. Well, let's. There's a gnat in here. I didn't get it. All right, my bad. We go to an in-ring segment. Stephanie Vaquer comes to the ring for an interview, but we pretty quickly have Nikki Bella interrupting and heading to the ring as well. By the way, Slick Vic, this is my favorite part of the entirety of Raw, coming up real soon. So Nikki Bella's walking down to the ring. She jumps up on the apron. She demands a rematch for the championship. Raquel Rodriguez shows up from the crowd, scoops Nikki up, and lawn darts her into the ring post. And when she falls, she lays there like she is absolutely killed. I mean, she's sprawled out. She don't move. Best part of the whole show. That spot right there was awesome. Raquel gets in the ring. She talks some smack to Vaquer, basically making her presence known as a contender. Moving on.
Can I give my quick thoughts on this promo?
Absolutely, yep.
First thing Stephanie says was, "I'm not one that talks too much." While it's not the exact quote that usually gets referenced in Botchamania, I wonder if it'll make it to the next episode.
Yeah.
In one sentence, Stephanie summarized what we've been saying about Nikki Bella. This isn't 15 years ago. And yes, Raquel Rodriguez destroying Nikki Bella was freaking awesome. And I look forward to this telenovela between Raquel and Stephanie.
Yeah. Awesome spot. And we've been singing Raquel's praises for a while now. Her and Roxanne, they've been working their ass off every single week. They deserve it. She deserves it. Let's move on to a match between Lyra Valkyria with Bayley by her side versus Roxanne Perez with Liv Morgan by her side. Now, there was a little segment prior to this, and I know Slick Vic's going to bring it up because he's on top of everything. There was a little segment backstage. I don't have notes for it, but it's the Judgment Day, and they were talking, and Liv basically told Roxanne, "I'm going to be out there with you tonight. We're going to be the next women's tag team champions." And it ends with Dom saying they're bonding. Good. This is good. Did I pretty much cover it, Slick Vic?
You did it very you did it very succinctly.
All right.
The only difference, the only thing I have to add was, do you sense any changes? Do you sense any changes in the Judgment Day lineup or personnel?
No.
Okay.
Because I thought the Judgment Day would have been done a long time ago. At this point, I don't know where they're going with it. I don't know what's going to happen next.
No worries. So, moving on.
Well, moving on. As a matter of fact, I don't have any specific match notes for this match with Lyra and Roxanne. I can tell you that it was a lot of back and forth. There was a cool spot where, Lyra, I was critical of her early on. She's grown on me a little bit. She's getting better. Her shit doesn't look as weak as it did, which is good. And Roxanne's playing the heel well. She got her on the outside. She drug her arm across the ring steps and was pulling her into the ring steps from the other side of them. I thought that was a good spot. She kept working the arm the whole match. Lyra was selling the arm the whole match, which I like. I hate when people sell something like they're hurt and then all of a sudden they're picking somebody up with that arm. Kills me. But it was mainly a back and forth event to basically show that Liv Morgan apparently really does have Roxanne's back in this, because she sort of helps out, if I remember, get Roxanne the win at the end of this match. You have anything to add to that, Vic?
Well, I thought this was a decent match. There was a lot going on around the match that wasn't entirely focused on the match. Like, for example, you got Liv Morgan there, and you got Bayley there, and you got Sol Ruka there. There's all these variables going on here, man. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I love Lyra's Mortal Kombat sweep attack that she does every single time. It's freaking fantastic. It's literally she throws her opponent in an Irish whip and then she presses back and low kick. Lyra got to show off some strength against someone of Roxanne's stature, which is cool. And Roxanne is quick as usual. Overall, decent back and forth match. So it was all right.
Here's a question for you, Vic. Do you think that if Lyra uses only low kick during her match, that she'll get to fight Jade?
Man, only she does.
That put her in a number one contender spot for the WWE Women's Championship?
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. If Lyra gets through a batch just using her left leg.
Yeah, low kick only. You can still do dive kicks.
Yes.
And sweeps.
Yes, if Lyra can do that, she's definitely next in line for Jade. Or since we're on Raw, it's got to be Stephanie Vicaire.
That's true, but I mean...
Wait, Jade, you're right. How could I botch this? This is Mortal Kombat we're talking about here, man.
Oh, you're just now getting it. You're just now getting it.
This is not Mortal Kombat. Of course it's going to be Jade.
She's going to travel through the portal to Goro's lair, and that's where she's going to meet Jade Cargill, who's going to crush her. Jade is going to... You can throw every special move you want at her. It's not going to matter. It's going to fly right through her, and she's going to crush her.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, man. How did I botch that, man? I should be on Botchmania for that.
Oh, man. Well, you got it in the end, so you didn't totally botch it, Slick Vic. Good job. Let's move on to what was next. We get a nice little video package again. This time it's Tiffany Stratton. It's a WrestleMania video package, which was cool. I thought it was well done. I'm still not that excited about Tiffany myself. I'm not the biggest fan of Tiffany Stratton, but you know what? This was a really nice little WrestleMania advertisement. And then we get another training montage with Maxine and Natty, which those are awesome. I love those. Gritty as hell, dirty, just, man, I can't wait. I can't wait till Maxine comes back. And it's all because of these video packages. I hope she's just wearing all black and just kills everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be awesome.
I have that too. I was like, this is really good. It's well shot. And I hope the next time we see Maxine, she's got this really strong edge to her. She just comes out and starts just murking women. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So then we are on to our main event. Wow, we made it to the end. This is LA Knight versus Logan Paul. It's not back in the ring. I didn't color the winner of it like I normally do, so I'm going to fix that really quick because that aggravates me. I highlight the winner in my notes. LA Knight versus Logan Paul. All right, so into the match. Paul goes right after Knight just as soon as the bell rings. But Knight fights back with a clothesline, eventually taking Logan Paul outside the ring. The announce desk is cleared but not used as the two make their way back inside the ring. LA Knight getting a near fall, then Paul taking over and getting one himself. Another break and more back and forth. Paul getting a 2 count off of that weird reverse powerbomb he does. Knight gains control again off a jumping clothesline, followed by a jumping neckbreaker for a 2 count. Knight props Logan up on the turnbuckle, and the Brawns make their way ringside, causing the distraction, and Paul gains the momentary advantage. Bronson Reed sneaks in a headbutt to Knight, and the ref throws the Brawns out. Now Knight and Paul are back on the announce table. Knight is hammering away on Paul when the mystery man comes out of nowhere and delivers a stomp to Knight. Logan Paul hits a splash to Knight back inside of the ring to put him away with a pin. Oh, wow. Okay, so first of all, this was a decent match. I'm already kind of tired of the mystery man. I want to know who he is. I'm sick of him just showing up and running off. While he was running off, I was hoping that some fan from the crowd would attack him and pull his mask off. That didn't happen. Logan Paul has a really cool finishing move, and I hate that he didn't use it here at least. If he's going to beat LA Knight, and I know there were some interference. But do you remember Logan Paul's finishing move, the Pulverizer?
Isn't that like a suplex type move into something else?
Yeah, it's like a suplex. Oh, what does he do? It's so good. It's so awesome. It's something that like you would make up as a kid, but I can't remember how it goes now. God damn it. How does the Pulverizer go? I'm going to have to look this up, ladies and gentlemen, now. We're going to YouTube this.
Did he win with the Frog Splash this time?
Yeah, he won it with the Frog Splash.
Man, it's gimmick infringement.
I think that's another one of his moves, but it's not his main. Like, the Pulverizer is supposed to be... Here we go. Okay. Alright, so it's like a backdrop. Like you go to you throw the guy's arm over your head and you go like you're gonna backdrop him, or maybe just like back body drop him or neck drop. But you flip them backwards and you flip around and end it with a DDT. Man, it's so cool looking. I got to give it to him.
I just saw him do it on AJ, so yeah.
Yeah, it's so good looking, but he doesn't do it enough. But anyway, LA Knight's my guy. Hate seeing him lose. Post match, the Brawns beat down LA Knight. Braun Breaker hits a spear and Reed hits 2 tsunamis. Heyman gets the mic and says he doesn't know why the crowd is booing. He goes on to promote the January 5th Raw World Title match, saying there will be a new World Heavyweight Champion, and his name is Braun Breaker. Braun gets the mic and cuts a promo on CM Punk, calling him a fraud, being a nice guy, asking where the real CM Punk is. And I'm shortchanging this promo because it was really good. Because, you know, Braun even says that he used to think of CM Punk as the best to ever lace up a pair of boots. And he misses the CM Punk that was feared in the back. And he wants that CM Punk on January 5th. I thought it was great because he's talking about how when he was young, he looked up to CM Punk. He thought he was awesome. And now that he's here and he's competing and he's in, you know, it's like a full circle old line versus the young line type deal. I loved it. I loved the promo. Then after all of this, we get a video. It's showing LA Knight being helped in the back. Braun Breaker and Logan Paul leave the ring. Was it Braun Breaker and... No, it was Bronson Reed and Logan Paul leave the ring and head back to lay some more SmackDown on Knight. That's what they went to the back. They started beating Knight up. They powerbomb Knight through a table. They keep beating on him when they realize he's still trying to get up. Logan Paul puts Knight on top of a car, and Bronson Reed jumps off of some stacked boxes, delivering a tsunami. The show ends with Adam Pearce yelling, "Get me some damn medics!" End of show. Thought it was a great end to the show. Awesome promo, again, by Braun Breaker. He's come a long way. And that's it. Your thoughts, Slick Vic?
Well,
I don't know!
I was really surprised Logan Paul had a match on Raw.
Yeah.
Has he had many matches? I don't know if he's had many, if more than like 2.
Not many. No, not many.
But if you remember, though, this is a rematch from SummerSlam 2024. This has been said before by many people, but the more I watch LA Knight, the more he reminds me of early 2000s era Rock, and that's a good thing. I was a huge fan of The Rock during that time, and I'm a big LA Knight fan, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah!
This was short, and these two made the most of it because this was more about the vision as a whole and the masked man that keeps interfering. Also, I liked how I don't know if he did this on, I don't think he did this on purpose, but he totally knocked over the big Prime bottle on his way in to stomp LA Knight. And as Wade said, it ultimately took 5 men to take down LA Knight. You hear that? There was 5 of them. It took 5 of them.
Jesus!
Braun's promo after the match was solid. He wants the old CM Punk. He wants the old Stone Cold. Plus, he really sounds like his father and uncle, man. I mean, I could have done without the whole "I'll take your wife too" line.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of when he said the crackhead thing. He's like, "You used to be straight edge, and now you look like the biggest crackhead walking." I didn't like that. I thought that was just cheap sounding, like cheesy sounding, and the wife thing. But yeah, that was very Scott Steiner.
I have that in my notes right here. Was that a nod to his uncle, the big bad booty daddy? And and also the beat down at the end on Night with the tsunamis is just overkill, man. Every time a show ends with Bronson Reed hitting tsunamis, I'm just like, how much longer is this show left? Because this is killing me.
Over the tsunami, are you?
It's overkill. Yeah, I'm over the tsunamis, man. But yeah.
I feel you.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Slick Vic, that was Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Good Raw, good SmackDown this week. And here in about 2 days, we're going to have Saturday night's main event. Next show up, John Cena's last match. A lot of good, interesting matches. I'm really interested in the Obafemi versus Cody Rhodes match. And, of course, the main event. But we still got a couple of things to talk about here on Wrestling with Power. A couple of fun segments. Slick Vic's Picks, I believe, is up next. And then, of course, we're going to end the show with some cooking the books. Slick Vic, shall we move on? Shall we pause for the cause? What say you? You're the man here. You call the shots.
The stars are aligned for a pause for the cause.
All right. We'll take a pause for the cause. I need to refill my goblet, and we'll be right back. All right.
Bro, I don't know if you have your phone on you, but I just sent you a 45-second clip of the street. There's a snippet, like a teaser for the Street Fighter trailer featuring Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns.
No way. I'll check it out. Hold on. Let me go get another pop. I forgot to get one.
Go for it.
Is this yours or is this mine? I think this is mine.
I didn't have one of those.
Okay. Ah, fuck it. I don't want this whole goddamn. Listen, don't let him start screaming and shit, please.
I'm trying to get him to go to sleep.
I know, but he's right next to the door. All right, we're back from our commercial break. We're back live on Twitch, and I guess we're back live, period. Slick Vic has bestowed upon me a little trailer. Where'd you send it to me? Okay, I see it, Vic. This is, there's a Street Fighter movie sneak peek that was apparently revealed at the Game Awards.
Yep.
2 hours ago. So, breaking news. All right, let's see what we got here. Was that 50 Cent? Hold on.
Yeah. 50 Cent plays Balrog.
Oh my God. Okay.
This is wrestling related,
Dawson,
ladies and gentlemen.
Cammy. Ooh. Who's Ryu?
I'm not sure. He's not, I don't think he's a famous actor or anything. But Roman is there in a blink and you miss it cameo.
As Akuma, right?
Yep. And you see, at least you got to see Cody do a flash kick.
Yeah. Kicks him right through the wall. Then somebody does like a suplex slam.
Maybe Zangief.
Yeah, there's Akuma. I love Akuma. He's the guy that I play as in Street Fighter, which may seem cheap, but I'm a big fan of Akuma.
You do the Raging Demon?
Yeah.
Punch.
Punch. It's like punch. It's like a Mortal Kombat move. It's like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
It's like a light punch, light kick, forward, heavy punch, something like that. I don't remember.
Something like that, yeah. There he is.
Yeah. Big Dog, the tribal chief.
I don't know if that really looks like Akuma, but okay. I can buy it.
I'd buy that for $1.
Akuma's a badass, though. I hope he don't get his ass kicked in this movie.
I bet you, just like Roman, he's only in it for very, very briefly.
I don't think he shouldn't be in it long. Akuma shouldn't be in it long.
Nah, it should revolve around Ryu and Ken.
Yeah, because, I mean, Akuma was... Of course, you could play as him in the later ones, but like in order to fight Akuma, you had to literally beat the entire ladder without losing a match to anybody, even Sagat and M. Bison. Yeah, you couldn't lose to anyone, and then you would fight Akuma, and then he would school you. But he had the sweet, like, air shoryukens. Or Hadokens, I'm sorry. He had the air Hadokens where you could just backflip and shoot them at people, and I would do that, and yeah.
He'd go like this just go like this all day, shoot him out of his palm.
Yeah. I love Akuma, which I think Akuma, like, a lot of people think he's cheap, but I think Akuma, if I'm not mistaken, when you're playing as him, he takes more damage than anyone, and I think he maybe even dishes out less damage. Because he's so overpowered as far as his moves and stuff's concerned, I think they sort of leveled him out that way.
I know that was the case in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, where Akuma, out of 52 characters, took the worst damage of the entire game.
Yeah, that might have been it. Yeah, you just get, if you get hit, you're done for.
You're dead. He's
Do
dead.
you remember the rumors of Akuma being playable in Resident Evil 2?
No.
That was big room. That was big news back in the day in the old EGM magazines and stuff. Similar to getting the Triforce in Ocarina of Time, or evolving Dragonite into Yoshi in Pokemon Red and Blue.
Are we talking OG Resident Evil 2?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. No, I never heard of this. It's crazy because I grew up with that game.
He wasn't in it, but it was like a big rumor that you could play
Right.
as Akuma some way.
That's crazy. I mean,
Somebody
makes sense.
actually
they're both Capcom, but still, it's crazy.
Somebody actually did a mod of RE2 where you play as Akuma. It's pretty fun.
Is he throwing Hadoukens at zombies?
Yeah. It's like rocket launcher shots. It blows their head and everything off. Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, I gotta see it. Please send me a link later.
I'll send you a link. I have to stream that sometime too. Maybe even right here on the Twitch channel, Wrestling with Power. Which, by the way, Slick Vic, I gave you some information the other day that was false. I told you that the online arcade was very lacking in Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. While I don't believe that it's finished, I was wrong about some information. You can make private lobbies. You can customize it a lot more than I thought you could. But yes, you can make private lobbies to where you only have the people that you want in there. And you can invite them and they can join. So, we're good to go.
Hey. Sounds like fun, man.
I've been working on my brutalities. I'm going to kick your ass with Cyber
Oh,
Smoke.
jeez. Oh, man. Well, I better brush up on some Cabal and Sindel and get to it, man.
Oh, I know Nightwolf now too. I can play some Nightwolf. I'm a little rusty on him, but I've been trying to learn Nightwolf.
You know, I need to learn a new character. I think it's time I do. It's been 30 years. I think I
Yeah,
know.
me
I
too.
know.
Like, I need to branch out. I've been playing Sub-Zero and Scorpion for 30 years. I need to branch out. MK2 and 1 is a different story. Like, you can
100%.
you can learn everybody in MK1.
Yeah.
You can learn pretty much everybody in MK2. I mean, it's a little bit harder. I always felt like Melina was really hard to play as, but if you could learn to play as her, she was super effective. Same with Jax. Kind of hard to play as. Some of his special moves, aren't they like kicks that do the certain things? Like, what's his
Jax, well, if you hold low kick for 3 seconds, he punches the ground. If you do a half circle back high kick, he does his projectile attack.
You see, that doesn't make sense to me because Mortal Kombat, like, the moves make sense when you get to playing it and you kind of, like, Liu Kang, forward, high punch, or forward, low punch, like a fireball. And that makes sense because you're punching, but when you take a kick command and it does a arm move, that confuses me. You know what I'm saying? So I never got into him that way.
Well, Jax does have some punch moves. If you do forward, low punch, he does the gotcha. And then you got to mash low punch, so he keeps punching you over and over. And then he's also got the grab, where if you successfully launch a grab and you mash high punch, it's bam, 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 bam.
Maybe it was designed to have the kick buttons do those moves so that you could be holding kick down while you were also pressing the other commands. Kind of like on an arcade, it's a lot easier to do.
And also he's got the backbreaker in the air if you hit block in the air.
Yeah, gotcha.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I love the fucking air throw that Jax and Scorpion and Smoke have. I love it.
Yeah, 100%.
It always catches people off guard.
Cyrex has one in MK3, which is brutal.
MK3?
Yeah, Cyrex. Cyrex?
Cyrex has an air throw?
Or is it Smoke? I think it's both of them.
It might be both of them, but I know Smoke does because I play Smoke.
Somebody fact check me, but I'm pretty sure Cyrex has the same one.
He probably does because Cyber Smoke is sort of like combination Cyrex Sector with the spear.
Yeah.
All right, well, Slick Vic, that's enough Mortal Kombat talk. Why don't we move on to some Slick Vic's picks? And before we do that, I want to bring up, this is a good time, actually, ladies and gentlemen, and I know you thought I forgot about it. I did not. Vic's gimmick for tonight. And remember, you have to be watching on YouTube. We don't put the videos up on Spotify anymore. You got to tune in on YouTube to see what Slick Vic's gimmick is. However, I mentioned this to you last week, Slick Vic. We need to start taking a picture of this and throwing it up on the Facebook page. Each episode has a gimmick. We need to archive
for once, this isn't a horror themed gimmick. Most of my gimmicks are horror themed, or they can be traced back to horror in some kind. But this time, this is actually one that Mosley and I both relate to, because Mosley and I are both musicians.
Yes.
We both play stringed instruments. We're both guitarists in a sense. So what I've got right here is I've got what looks like a little amp that holds my plectrums. And if you look closely, it says, what is it? Can you read that? Is it legible?
Yes, it's clear as day. It says Vic's Picks.
Yeah.
On the front of it, yeah.
I've got some picks right there. I swear to God, I had a few more. I even had a bass pick because I was gonna, as a tribute to my co-host, Mr. Mosley, I had a bass guitar pick, but I don't seem to know what happened to it.
You must be using that one.
Do you play with a plectrum?
Well, it depends on the sound I'm going for, Slick Vic. I prefer to play with my fingers as a bass player. I can play faster with my fingers than I can a pick, as crazy as that may seem. But I can play faster, but it's not the speed, it's the sound. If you're going for more attack, more tone, more of a punk rock, gritty sound, a lot of those
100%.
basses, they use picks. Yeah, it just depends on the sound I'm going for, and I like a good medium pick. I don't like a real heavy bass pick. I like a medium pick. It gives you that snap.
For sure.
Good shit, pal.
Same with me, because these are different size picks. You can't really tell closely, but there's definitely different thickness in these picks.
Where did you get that?
This one right here, the actual thing right here?
Yeah. You just lost another pick.
It was actually a gift from the missus.
That's beautiful. That's a great gift. Mrs.
Slick Vic got me this little thing. She probably got it on Etsy. Hold on. If you pause for 10 seconds, I can. Yeah, it was on Etsy.
That's cool, man. Vic's Picks. That's an awesome gift. I really dig that. That is so cool. So for those of you out in audio land, not video land, again, this is Vic's gimmick for the week. It's a very tiny amp gimmick. It looks like a little practice amp, like a little Fender Rumble combo amp or something. And on the front of it, in cursive, in sort of the Fender writing, it says Vic's Picks. And on top, it's got slots for his picks to go in. Very cool. Very nice gift. Awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, we are going to get to the official Slick Vic's Picks for Saturday night's main event coming up here in a couple of days, December the 13th. Of course, this is John Cena's final match. That's the main event of the night. He's going to be taking on Gunther. We got a few other matches lined up here, and Vic has made his picks. He's consulted the crystal ball, and we're going to lead in with a little theme music.
I can't help but bob my head every time I hear that theme song.
Oh, yeah. Just makes you want to go and collect all of the various collectibles and fight Ganon, if you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
This Ganon right here is going to swell up on you, big blue pig man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is the time where the other gimmick comes into place. My trusty old crystal ball. Crystal ball.
And it hasn't failed you, Slick Vic. In the last 3 times that we've done Slick Vic's Picks, I actually went and looked at it because I keep a running total. I've actually not been giving the running total the last few times just because I wanted to let it build a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because if we can just go over a little bit the history of Slick Vic's Picks here. And, of course, we started this podcast back in around July, August. The first time that we did Slick Vic's Picks was SummerSlam 2025. That was a 2-night event. There were 12 matches. So it was, sink or swim. And unfortunately, Vic, you got 6 out of 12 right. That puts you at a 50% starting out. Which would seem like an impossible mountain to climb, but man, you have really came around since then. Clash in Paris 2025, you got 4 out of 6. WrestlePalooza, 3 out of 5. Crown Jewel is when you started being Mr. Perfect. 5 out of 5. Saturday night's main event on November the 1st, 4 out of 4. Survivor Series 2025, 4 out of 4. You're sitting at an overall 72%. So it's came quite a way. I struggle to announce the overall percentage because I think it takes away from the fact that you have been perfect the past 3 times, but nonetheless, Slick Vic, you're doing very, very well.
Did you say I was perfect?
I said that you have, as of late, there have been 3 instances where you have been perfect. Mr. Perfect is his name. He is no longer the Oracle. But moving forward, I am looking forward to this because we have Saturday night's main event, not considered a traditional PLE by PLE standards, but nonetheless, we do Slick Vic's picks for this. And of course, next week when we return, we'll have the results as well as the gigawatts for the matches at Saturday night's main event. But you know what, Slick Vic, take it away. I'm curious to know what is in that head of yours.
Well, there are 4 matches for Saturday night's main event. Would you like to list the matches, Mr. Mosley? Do you have the card in front of you?
I don't have it in front of me, Vic. No, I don't.
Okay.
I can list a couple of them and help you out.
Here's one quick thing. Do you think John Cena headlines his last match?
Headlines like main events goes on
Yes.
last? Yes, absolutely. He will be the last match of the night.
Then I will start with that last because
Okay.
they're not the
Well, let's
first
talk-
match. Go ahead.
How about this? I'll call the first match. You can call the next couple of them. I want to know what you think about Oba Femi, 2-time NXT champion, just recently won it back off Ricky Starks, which I don't know about that decision. I would rather see Oba Femi versus Cody Rhodes, myself, than Ricky Starks, but it kind of seems like they took it off. This is sort of like a Jey Uso treatment where they took it off of him, put it on Gunther so that he can have Goldberg's last match, you know what I mean, for the world title. Even though this isn't for the championship, it also, you know, him winning that belt also put him in this match at Saturday night's main event. So, NXT champion Oba Femi versus WWE undisputed champion Cody Rhodes.
I predict the crystal ball, as you can see right here, is telling me that Cody Rhodes goes over after a hard-fought battle. Now, there is the likely variable of Drew McIntyre getting involved, but that could be post-match, that could be during match, it could be afterwards. But I know, I am predicting the crystal ball. Slick Vic's picks, lock it in. Cody Rhodes goes over Oba Femi.
Okay, and I would call that a safe pick. I'm thinking you're right, as long as there's no shenanigans that go on, and I hope there's not, because this is a match where you're talking about the top guy on NXT versus the top guy on the main roster, which, you know, you still have the World Heavyweight title, whatever. The WWE title is the top title. And yeah, I think you're right. I think Cody Rhodes needs to win this one. It would be a shocker if Oba Femi won it. But I'm looking forward to this match. So you're picking Cody Rhodes. It's locked in. Let's move on to the next match.
We have Sol Ruka versus Bayley. So we talked about both these ladies earlier today, and I've been watching Sol Ruka on NXT since, and I think she is main roster bound in 2026. I see big things for her, and I see her getting a big win here on her first main roster PLE. If this is her first main roster PLE, I believe it is. So yeah, we are going to see the Soul Snatcher for the win and a huge pop for it. Lock it in. Sol Ruka over Bayley.
All right, it's locked in, and I agree with you there too, Vic. It'd be hard to go the other way, and I hope we get that result as well. I'm a big fan of Sol Ruka. She's grown on me very quickly, and she's just so impressive, and that Soul Snatcher is excellent. Flawless, if I might say so myself. Speaking of which, our illustrious episode artist, you know him, I know him, everybody should know him by now, gave us some great episode art for episode 19. And of course, we mentioned episode 19, the passing of Kerry, whatever his middle name is,
Hiroyuki
Tagawa.
Yes.
Shang Tsung in the original Mortal Kombat, fantastic as Shang Tsung. Also reprised the role for Mortal Kombat 11 in a fantastic showing. Unfortunately passed. And You can see on there, Shang Tsung, Slick Vic turns into Shang Tsung, and he steals my soul right out of my body. Great episode art there by Brad Buffer.
Would you say I'm snatching your soul?
Yeah, you're snatching it right out of my body, snatching it away. But I still hold on to my beer, if you notice. I still got my beer.
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities for sure. If you can take everything from me. You're not going to take the beer out of my hand. So Sol Ruka wins versus Bailey. All right, on to the next one.
All right, we got AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending their tag team titles against Javon Edwards and Leon Slater. It'll be a fast-paced, high-flying match for sure, but AJ and Dragon have been trying to help establish the tag team division on Raw. So I do not see them losing the tag team titles to a team made up of an NXT wrestler and a TNA wrestler. So no way, man. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee go over Javon Edwards and Leon Slater. Lock that in.
Javon who?
Javon Evans. Did I say
Okay.
Edwards?
Yeah. I was just making sure I
Yeah.
typed it down right. Ah, you're fine. All right, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee retain the tag team championships, and for the main event, of course, John Cena in his final match versus Gunther.
You know, up until now, Mosley, I don't know if you caught on to this, but every single match on this card is babyface versus babyface.
Yeah.
Cody versus Oba, Soul versus Bailey, AJ and Dragon versus Javon and Leon. Every match is babyface versus babyface. Now, this had no bearing on my choosing, on the Crystal Ball's choosing. Well, by the way, the Crystal Ball is having a very hard time descrambling Super Cena's abilities here. We're not talking about John Cena. We're talking about Super Cena in his last match ever. You mean to tell me this man is not going to activate every single trick in the book? Every single, let's think of it. In Street Fighter, you have the, turbo meter, whatever it's called. I don't remember. In Mortal Kombat Trilogy, you got the aggressive meter. Aggression meter. In Guilty Gear, you got burst. In Blaze Blue, you've got something else. Man, I can go on. I'm a big fighting game aficionado. If anyone wants to challenge me in any fighting game, hit up youtube.com/@wrestlingwithpower and say, Vic, I challenge you to whatever game you want to play. I will kick your ass.
Live. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live, pal. Okay. Well, anyways, back to business. This is a really, really hard match to call. Like I said, the Crystal Ball is struggling to descramble this, but Gunther over Cena. Lock it in.
All right. It's locked in, Slick Vic, and I agree with you there, too. I find it interesting that you would have a hard time with this one, because I thought it was a foregone conclusion. It's the old pro wrestling way that you go out staring up at the lights. You go out on your back. You go out putting over the next generation. That's just the way to go. What would make you struggle with this decision, I wonder?
Man, I just keep thinking, do they want to give the crowd a happy ending? Because I think this is going to main event the show. I've been hearing rumors now, just recently before we start recording, that this might actually open the show, which blows my mind. Like, really? You're going to have John Cena in his last match open the show? That's kind of crazy.
that would be a horrible decision. I do not think they're going to do that.
But again, Vince McMahon is not in charge anymore, but I think WWE still likes to send the crowd home happy. So we're going to end the show with Gunther retiring John Cena, just like Gunther did to Goldberg a few months ago. But now I'm sticking with my guns, and Gunther is going to retire John Cena.
All right,
in his last match.
It's hard to disagree with those 24-inch guns and the crystal ball. You've been perfect for the last three. I can't disagree with you on anything here. Sounds good. So, to recap, ladies and gentlemen, Obafemi versus Cody Rhodes. Vic picks Cody Rhodes. Bayley versus Sol Ruka. Vic picks Sol Ruka. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, the World Tag Team Champions, versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Vic is picking the champions to retain. And John Cena and Gunther. In John Cena's last match, Gunther wins.
That is correct. Lock it in.
Locked and loaded, my friend. And hopefully we'll be playing some more Mr. Perfect themes next week for you. But right now, all I've got for you is this. All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're about to move on to the. Oh, we have a run-in. Is that Shemp?
That is his Shemp.
All right. What the other one? I don't know. It's about to attack you. It looks like it's about to attack you.
He's not happy, is he?
No, he's not. He doesn't. He does not like that. Get him, Shemp. Get him. Attack him.
Thank you, Shemp. You've made a wonderful contribution to society.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our final segment of the evening. Been looking forward to this one for a while. This is Cooking the Books. Again, this is the title of our fantasy booking segment that we do. And we title it Cooking the Books because that's what we do here on Wrestling with Power. We do everything our way. So we're naming it Cooking the Books. This is WWE's main roster championships. Vic, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right,
Give
good
it to
deal.
me. Give it to me, man.
So, I'll start this one off. And, this is, again, me and Vic talked about this a little bit before we went live. How you take a topic like this, and it could be a specific topic, it could be a very vague topic. This is a vague topic. WWE's main roster championships. So you give that to somebody, and they say, well, what do you want me to do with that? Well, do whatever you want with it. And that is what we've done here. And Vic and I discussed it a little bit beforehand. As I said, I think we have some very different approaches here to this Cooking the Books, which is a good thing. I'm very excited to hear Vic's take on this. But I'll start with mine, Vic, if you don't mind. I'll go ahead and rattle this off as quickly as possible. And I've mentioned this before in the past with WWE's main roster championships. One thing that bothers me, one thing I keep coming back to, there should be one overall world champion. And history, we learn from history. History teaches us what we did right, what we did wrong. This isn't anything new, Slick Vic. We know from the Ruthless Aggression era, whenever they started the WWE draft, Brock Lesnar was the WWE champion. He gets drafted to SmackDown. That leaves Raw without a top champion. Eric Bischoff, the general manager at the time, brings the World Heavyweight Championship back, the big gold championship, and he gives it to Triple H because Triple H was the last guy to actually wear it. So he says, here you go. Then we have several years where we have a WWE champion and we have a World Heavyweight champion, one on each respective roster. Now, back then, it was a little bit different. Raw would have their own pay-per-views. SmackDown would have their own pay-per-views. And you sort of had the big four from back in the Golden Era, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, where you would have both rosters coming together and putting on a pay-per-view. But other than that, for a while, they were kind of exclusive to a certain brand. It's not like that anymore. Both brands are present at the PLEs. There's no exclusivity. And as a matter of fact, there's hardly any exclusivity when it comes to rosters, because even though there's a brand split, we see Cody Rhodes showing up on both shows. We see CM Punk showing up on both shows. We see it's almost impossible to keep up with who is on what roster in this day and age. So, again, I think there should be one top champion. I could go on and on about this. I'll save you the time. WWE's main roster titles, Slick Vic, let me read them off to you right now. There are 11 championships in WWE. We got the 11. We got the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Women's Championship, the Women's World Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, the Women's Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship, the Women's United States Championship, the WWE Tag Team Championship, the World Tag Team Championship, and the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. 11 titles currently on the main roster, and they are supposedly broken up between rosters, but we know that's not necessarily true. So here's what I'm proposing, Slick Vic, with my cooking the books. And this may not take place now. I'm actually thinking that this takes place sometime after WrestleMania. Let's get through WrestleMania. Let's let that cool down. Sometime after WrestleMania, we combine these. The WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship are combined to form the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The same thing happens with the women's titles to form the WWE Women's World Championship. The Intercontinental title and the United States title, both the men's and women's, stay the same. We're not going to combine those. And they're going to stay on their respective shows. So the IC title stay on Raw, the US title stay on SmackDown. The WWE Tag Team Championship and the World Tag Team Championship combine to form the WWE World Tag Team Championship. And then we have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, which seems to be the only title in this entire list that's actually doing anything right. This is a title that is being booked fine. You even have announcers talking about how stacked the tag team division is on the women. Wonder why. There's only one set of championships for them to go after between the two shows. So if you worry about booking, how are we going to book this? Who is the World Heavyweight Champion going to feud with? Well, just take a look at the Women's World Tag Team Championship and look at how they're booking it between the two shows. They make it work and they make it seamless, and we don't question that. We don't look at those titles and say, oh, well, the team that's challenging for them is from SmackDown, what about Raw? We don't really ask that question. And I think it can be done effectively to where we won't be asking that question. If we were to combine these championships, there should be one overall champion, and that would be considered an open title. So the Intercontinental stays on Raw, US stays on SmackDown. If you're going to keep the brand splits, that would mean that those respective championships become the top titles on those shows. That doesn't mean that they necessarily go up from the mid-card. Those are the top singles titles on those shows. You still have the world champions, and we would alternate who gets to vie for the world champion. And maybe we would even mix it up. So you would have, the top guy from Raw that's challenging for the world title, the top guy from SmackDown. They would fight each other to determine who's the number one contender. This is talking about evolving things beyond what we see them right now. Because right now we worry that if there's only one world champion, well, what's going to happen to all these other main event guys? They're not going to be showcased. That's not the case. They're going to be showcased. They're going to be top guys still. They're still going to be considered above the Intercontinental title. They're still going to be considered going for the World Championship, but they don't have to be a champion. Not everybody's going to be world champion, and that's what you got to come to realize. I think we need to reel it back in a little bit. Not everybody needs to be world champion. Not everybody gets that mark on their resume. Especially considering when you have two titles that are supposed to be equal, there's always the question of which one is better. And WWE even has the Crown Jewel Championship to determine who's the better between the two. They're undermining themselves by doing this. Just combine the belts. Same goes for the tag team titles. We've talked about the tag team titles time and time again, how the tag team championship, the tag team division on each show is lacking a little bit. It wouldn't be lacking if it was one big giant division between both shows. You'd have a lot of tag teams. You'd have people like the War Raiders who, hopefully to God, would be elevated to be one of the top teams in line for those tag team championships. And it would be an overall better division. And I think that goes double for the World Championship division, the Women's division, and again, the Intercontinental and United States Championship, oftentimes looked at as a joke. Not if they're the top singles titles on the shows. Not a joke anymore. You want to be the top champion on Raw? That's the Intercontinental title. You got to go for that title. So, long-winded cooking the books there, Slick Vic. I know I almost put you to sleep, but we got total of 11 championships in WWE. I'm proposing cutting it down to 8 and maybe even introducing 2 new championships to differentiate between the two rosters, SmackDown and Raw. I loved the Hardcore Championship. I loved when it was 24/7 and they were fighting in the back and there was different champions. The 24/7 title didn't count. That was trash. I'm talking about the Hardcore Championship when they were fighting back and forth for it, and it was so exciting. Maybe bring back the Hardcore Championship and put it on Raw with the 24/7 rule. And then over on SmackDown, I really loved the Cruiserweight Classic. And I think that after the Cruiserweight Classic, they just kind of fumbled it. But I think there's room for a Cruiserweight Championship in this company. I'm proposing let's rename it the Junior Heavyweight Championship and put that on SmackDown. Because, well, SmackDown's on cable and Raw is on Netflix. So I think Raw could get away with the hardcore matches more without much flack from the higher-ups. And then on SmackDown, we got the Junior Heavyweight title for these smaller guys under a certain weight. You know, it could happen. They could do it right. Open championships appear and are defended across both brands. That goes for the World Championship on the men and women, the tag team. IC and US titles, again, become top titles for each exclusive roster, but not world level. There would still be top main event stars fighting to be next for the world title. And that is my cooking the books for WWE's current championship title belts. Are you not entertained, Slick Vic?
No, I see what you're going for, man. I 100% agree. We should merge some of those titles. But yeah, man, that's very interesting philosophy you got there. I'm 100%. I'm with you.
All right,
not 100%, but I'm definitely with you.
Not 100%. Well, why don't we take a brief pause for the cause, and when we come back, we'll get Slick Vic's thoughts on this cooking the books.
Back. I'm sorry about that interruption there. I really had to go relieve myself.
Was it number 1, number 2, or number 3?
Number 1.
Okay. Hey, check this out.
What's number 3?
Vomit. Just sent you something. This is Chris Van Vliet posted this. Sent it to you in Messenger. A little up close and personal. Kind of picture.
Nice. Cool. All right. We got Cody and Roman.
I cannot believe that Curtis Curtis, what does it say? Curtis some 50 Cent Jackson. It's Balrog. Yeah, he looks like he looks like a badass Akuma. He really does. There.
You know what's funny though? It says Cody Rhodes, and it says Joe Roman Reigns Anoa'i. Why don't they say Cody? Why don't they say Cody Runnels?
That's a good point. Jason Momoa is Blanca?
Yeah, Jason Momoa and Roman Reigns are in the same movie. That's wild.
This is gonna be a big movie, I think. I'm
psyched.
I think this is gonna be. Oh my God, is that Dan? Andrew Schultz is Dan Hibiki?
Really? Dan is in this movie?
Yeah, he's right there on the post. Look, Andrew Schultz is Dan. Dan Hibiki.
Is wild. Because we're getting Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter next year, both in the same year. Just like this is 1995 all over again.
Yeah.
Man, because 1995 we both got Mortal Kombat and the Street Fighter movie.
Who is this? Eric Andre is who? Don Savage?
I need to fact check myself.
I don't know who Don Savage is. Hiroki Goto is E Honda.
I'm sorry, the first Street Fighter movie was 1994. But yeah, you get the point.
Cody Rhodes is Gal. Joe. Julie. Oh, Ken. There's Ken. M. Bison. David. Oh, I know that guy. Okay, he'll make a good M. Bison.
Yeah, he made a movie called Late Night with the Devil. I don't know if you saw that.
I've seen it. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Ryu. We got Orville Peck as Vega. Oliver Richters as Zangief. Is that the guy that Oliver Richters? Is that the big muscle guy?
Yeah, Zangief is the big muscle bound Mohawk dude from the USSR.
Okay, this is not the guy that I was thinking of. I was thinking of Eddie Hall. That's not Eddie Hall.
No.
Okay. He looks like Eddie Hall there. All right. Let's see. All right, we're back from that emergency piss break, and Slick Vic is going to give us our. I know that my cooking the books took a while, but Slick Vic, let's go ahead and get your cooking the books here. WWE's main roster championships.
So in my cooking the books, I was thinking who is going to hold the titles in 2026.
Yeah, good call.
So for the WWE championships, please help me, Mosley. There's the WWE World Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship. Which one does Cody hold?
Cody has the WWE Championship, or the Undisputed WWE Championship, which is as far as lineage goes, that's the WWE title that Stone Cold held, The Rock held, Undertaker held, all the way going back. The World Heavyweight Championship, which is supposed to be the Raw title, is the one that was created recently and did not share the lineage with the Big Gold. It's the one that CM Punk currently holds.
Well, I am predicting Braun Breaker, whether it's January 5th or WrestleMania, Braun Breaker is going to hold that World Heavyweight title in 2026. And there is a natural feud with him, with Seth Rollins going out of that match. Braun Breaker will hold main event gold in 2026. Mark my words. Or as Ricky would say, make my words. All right, you're going to make my words. I'm going to have my grade 10. All right, so Rhea Ripley is currently busy in two different tag teams, one with Priest and one with Io. I'm predicting she's going to be busy in the tag team division with both of these teams to hold a a singles title. And that's big because Rhea Ripley is arguably still the most over female in the entire roster. All right. LA Knight. This man has been, I don't know if you noticed this, he was in the main event of both shows. It was the main event on SmackDown against Gunther and main event on Raw against Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I've heard there's big plans for LA Knight in 2026. I think he will hold a mid-card title. And here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's going to be Dominic Mysterio. I think LA Knight beats Dominic Mysterio and has a somewhat lengthy run with the IC title. After all, Knight came to Rey Mysterio's aid recently. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Dominic Mysterio. I have him highlighted here because Dominic Mysterio has been very, very well featured this year. Yeah, he's going to lose the title to LA Knight, and he's going to hunt for the WWE title. I don't know if he'll win it. Maybe the end of the year. Maybe. But right now, no, I don't think it's going to happen. We talked about Sol Ruca coming up. So let me set the stage here. Right now, we have the women's U.S. champion. That's Maxine Dupree.
Yes. No.
And with the women's IC title is Maxine Dupree.
Yes.
Women's U.S. title is Chelsea Green.
Yes.
Sol Ruca comes up and she beats Chelsea Green. Sol Ruca is gonna dethrone Chelsea Green and become the new women's U.S. champion. On the flip side, Blake Monroe comes up from NXT. You know who Blake Monroe is?
Yes.
Blake Monroe comes up and she's gonna be the one to eventually, because I want Maxine Dupree to have a lengthy title run with her U.S. title, with her IC title. I'm so sorry I'm getting them mixed up, but yeah.
No, and I think she will, because the work they're doing with Natty and the promos that they're doing, they're working her up to almost be sort of a new character here, or show a new side of her. So she needs to have a lengthy title run. If she loses it any time in the next month or two, what have they done? They've built nothing. So yeah, absolutely. In my mind, I'm like, let's keep that belt on Maxine till SummerSlam. All the way through Mania, all the way into SummerSlam. Yeah. Let her keep it through SummerSlam, then drop the title to Blake Monroe. Jacob Fatu, whenever he comes back, he's definitely going to be main event. He's definitely going to be elevated to main event status. I'm not saying he has to win belts. Kind of like Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has been main eventing several PLEs, but he hasn't had a belt since WrestleMania 40. So, yeah. I think Jacob Fatu will be elevated to main event status, not necessarily meaning he'll win a title, but he will be up there. Jade Cargill. She's going to eventually have that inevitable match with Bianca Belair. I think that'll be WrestleMania. I hope this doesn't mean that Bianca Belair wins the Rumble, because I'm always in favor of new people winning the Rumble every single time. Maybe Bianca can win the Elimination Chamber. Hell, she won the Elimination Chamber last year, but we'll see. I think Bianca and Jade are going to have an extended feud, and I think it makes sense. I think it's all written in there. I think it's funny. You know, it's crazy though. It's Bianca Belair has been out since WrestleMania. Yeah, with a broken finger. It's taken her this long to get over a broken finger. It's crazy. I know. All right. If Gunther beats Cena, which is what Slick Vic and the Crystal Ball have chosen, if Gunther beats Cena, he's got to be next in line for a world title. All right? Doesn't it make sense? You retire John Cena, you got to be next in line for a world title. Yeah, but what about Braun Breaker? Well, Braun Breaker can go after
What did I have him going after? I had him going after
Punk.
Punk. So he's
For the
gonna
world
go
champ.
after. He can go after Cody Rhodes.
That would mean that he would have to win the Rumble and then challenge Cody for the Elimination Chamber because he's on Raw, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he'll win the Rumble, but I think he's going to be poised in the main event for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Because just like when Brock Lesnar beat Undertaker for the streak, he immediately went into the main event scene for the world title.
Yeah.
I believe it's going to be a similar thing with Gunther if Gunther wins.
Okay.
I think Stephanie Vicaire keeps the title for a while. I think she's still red hot. We don't mess with that.
Not even after Naomi comes back. After her baby and everything.
That actually can be a great segue to a feud. When Naomi comes back, she goes after Stephanie Vicaire. So by that point, you have Stephanie having a very lengthy title reign. That's a good point there, Mr. Mosley. Excellent. All right, so I've covered Braun Breaker, I've covered Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vicaire, LA Knight, Sol Ruca, Blake Monroe, Jacob Fatu, Gunther, Jade Cargill. I talked about Chelsea Green and Maxine Dupree.
Yeah.
Now, for the tag team titles, man, we got AJ and Dragon Lee kind of trying to establish a new tag team division. You know what's going to happen, though, unfortunately, for better or worse, it's going to be like a 4-way tag team match at WrestleMania. And the winners coming out of that might. It's hard to say, man. It's because the tag team division is. I'm glad it looks like they're taking it seriously, but it's hard to see long-term booking for tag team. The tag team division's never been known for long-term booking.
They need to combine those titles. Even if they don't do the world titles, combine the tag teams. Those titles need to be combined more than any other championship, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And you know what? It's the same thing with the women. There's only one women's tag team titles, and there's a lot of women now that are teaming up for that title. So I think,
and it's great. It you don't question the tag team division on the women's side. I think it's an oversight. I think you don't even pay attention to it because it's going so well. And that's how the tag team division needs to be with the men. It needs to be going that well. And the only way to do it is to get rid of... There does not need to be 2 sets of tag team champions. The division is just not big enough between both shows to warrant 2 sets of tag team championships.
Yeah. Did I miss any titles? I know. I probably missed the speed title, but
that doesn't count. That doesn't count. That's going away.
Talked about.
What about this, Slick Vic? Let me ask you this question because I did introduce the idea of bringing back the Hardcore Championship. That's for me personally, just because I loved the 24/7 rule, and the Cruiserweight title. Rename the Junior Heavyweight title. Make it part of the overall product. Don't, when they did the Cruiserweight thing, they if you remember, they had the Cruiserweight Classic, and it was awesome. It was fantastic. And then when they brought the Cruiserweight Championship into the main event, they would literally cut to break, come back, they would have the ropes recolored purple, and they would have this one match for the Cruiserweights. And they would have the match, and then the ropes would go back to red, and they would have the rest of the event. Like it was something that was separate from the rest of everything going on. At first, I kind of like that, but it needs to be integrated into the overall thing. Like, if they were to bring back the title, whatever you want to call it, light heavyweight, cruiserweight, junior heavyweight, make it important, make it a big, division here, something to really fight for. I think it could be good. Are there any championships that you think maybe could be added to the current lineup?
You know, that last 24/7 title really, really tainted my vision of a hardcore title.
That sucked. That was like PG
yeah.
hardcore title. It sucked.
That was brutal. Man, I think of somebody like EC3 that got buried in that whole mix because EC3 could have been a contender. That man could have been a contender.
He could have been.
Man. But no, he ended up being a J-Bron who was chasing after R-Truth for the 24/7 title.
Yeah, but there's a clear distinction. If you go back and watch, what was it, WrestleMania 18 or 19? It might have been 19. WrestleMania 19, where throughout the night you have several different hardcore champions. You have them fighting in the back. Al Snow's there. He's driving like a golf cart and he runs over somebody. Kane's there. Like, it was still sort of a joke, gimmick type thing. But even then, it was just so entertaining and so fun to watch. The 24/7 title was a bastardization of what the hardcore title was. So, I don't know. There's different titles over the years. You can make an argument for, well, we should have a TV championship. You know, back in the day, it was the TV title, television championship. There's the European title, which was sort of like a third place type title. Some people want to see that come back. I'm a fan of reducing the overall number of championships to elevate the importance of them, but also these gimmick titles, like I said, hardcore title, junior heavyweight title, between the two shows to give them some sort of differentiation between each other. That's why I threw that in at the end of mine. But yeah, we're gonna have to revisit this episode a little bit later down the road. Slick Vic, you and your crystal ball, you got your picks. It's been talking to you. It's been telling you things. And we're going to have to see here in a few months if what it's been telling you pans out. But I think that's good, man. That's good. That's a good segment here for Cooking the Books. Episode 20, Monday Night Lies. We have... We've given you everything that we can here, ladies and gentlemen. And what an episode.
Sink.
And the kitchen sink and all. And what an episode has turned out to be. I'll cheers to you. As we hear the gong. And Slick Vic. That's it, man. That's all we got. Do you have anything to add before you give your farewells and wishes? Just want to remind everybody, youtube.com/@WrestlingWithPowerPodcast. Spotify, search us up on there. Wrestling with Power, you're going to find us. Facebook.com/WrestlingWithPower. Leave your comments, your concerns, your well wishes. What do you want to see? What do you not want to see? Retro reviews. We have a really fun time doing these retro reviews. I really love going back and watching these retro events. We got the Rumble coming up next month.
Give us
maybe the month after. Please give us a Rumble. Please give us an Attitude Era Rumble. I want to watch some Attitude Era. I'm wanting to move up into the Attitude Era here, but any Rumble will work. Anything you guys want to see is appreciated. All of your feedback. And again, those are all of our socials as of right now, as it stands. And of course, Twitch, where we are live right now every Thursday night, unless otherwise noted, roughly 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you happen to be in the Chicagoland area, if you happen to be dining on some delicious Giordano's deep dish pizza, you might want to tune in at 8 p.m. Slick Vic, anything to add?
Well, if you want to have some delicious Ale 8, come by in the Eastern Central Time for
There you
some
go.
Wrestling with Power. But I want to wish you all a very lovely,
Libation.
a toast to you. A toast to y'all.
I wish you a very lovely libation.
Wish y'all a very lovely libation, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed it. Come back for more. We have lots of libations and reviews to come.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
And we'll be back next week, ladies and gentlemen, on God willing, December the 18th. And then we're probably going to take a week. Well, we're definitely going to take a week off for Christmas, and maybe the week after is New Year's. And then we'll be joining you again on January the 8th, when the big January the 5th episode of Raw will be over. We'll have a lot to talk about at that point in time. Ladies and gentlemen, Slick Vic wishes you well. I wish you well. Have a couple libations on me. We'll see you next week. From all of us here at Wrestling with Power, stay powerful.